There are individuals involved in illicit activities, and then there is Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer, a name so weighty that even after many years, it persists as an indelible shadow that refuses to diminish. A name articulated in documentaries, scrutinized by criminologists, discussed by psychologists, and apprehended by the general public. A designation that compels society to confront the most alarming query conceivable: what constitutes a monster? For over 3 decades, the global effort has been to examine, analyze, and decipher the psyche of the Milwaukee cannibal. But each time specialists believe they have comprehended him, the truth eludes their grasp, elusive, enigmatic, and impossible to retain. Because Dahmer was distinct, he was not in a state of frenzy. He did not exhibit chaos. He was not behaving in an uncontrolled manner. He maintained a composed demeanor, exceedingly careful, quietly spoken, regulated. And this is what renders the case of Jeffrey Dahmer one of the most profound psychological enigmas in criminal history, a conundrum that even the most discerning minds continue to attempt to resolve. This article thoroughly examines that enigma, analyzing not only what Dahmer committed, but also the most unsettling question of all. Why did he undertake this action? And why is it that the world, despite the passage of many years, still cannot come to a consensus on what genuinely resided within his mind? A childhood marked by red flags, or merely typical for a boy? Each exemplary criminal profile commences similarly. Let's examine infancy. Generally, that is where vulnerabilities first emerge. With Dahmer, the explanations remain as unclear as the individual himself. Certain experts highlight the instability present within his household. Others highlight his early separation. And some assert that none of it provides an adequate explanation, because by all conventional standards, Jeffrey Dahmer was not expected to become this. Was Dahmer inherently a monster, or constructed gradually over time? Here is the current information. He exhibited a reserved demeanor. He was reserved. He maintained a reserved demeanor. He cultivated an interest in deceased creatures. He gathered bones in the manner that other children collected baseball cards. Some psychologists contend that this marked the initial unmistakable indication, the point at which Dahmer's mindset started to shift towards more sinister realms. Numerous individuals who commit acts of violence against humans initially engage in harming creatures. Dahmer did not necessarily murder them. However, he examined them, dissected them, and preserved their remains. It is a line that does not constitute a criminal act, but it is neither reassuring nor soothing. His parents frequently engaged in arguments, occasionally with violence. His father, Lionel Dahmer, was often absent from home for extended periods. His mother experienced significant mental health challenges and subsequently disclosed that she was consuming approximately 26 medications daily during her pregnancy. Some experts contend that this chemical upheaval may have impacted Dahmer's neurological development. Some argue that numerous children are raised in unstable households without developing cannibalistic tendencies. Several psychologists contend that Dahmer was fundamentally deficient in qualities such as empathy, emotional engagement, and the capacity to form meaningful connections. Others utterly dismiss this, asserting that Dahmer did experience feelings. He experienced them differently. The ongoing debate persists because Dahmer did not align precisely with any specific psychological classification. He moved among them, part sociopath, part tormented adolescent, part enigma. However, one thing remains certain. Something within Jeffrey Dahmer was gradually deteriorating long before anyone observed it. The initial kill, the moment the monster manifested, the year 1978, Jeffrey Dahmer was 18 years of age, recently graduated from secondary education. lacking direction, alcohol dependence, solitary, and urgently seeking authority. When he initially encountered hitchhiker Stephen Hicks, Dahmer did not intend to murder him. However, when Hicks attempted to depart, the dread of abandonment coursed through Dahmer like a surge of electricity. He would subsequently state, "I did not wish for him to depart." These 5 words have been analyzed by criminologists, forensic psychologists, neuroscientists, and FBI profilers for many decades. Some suggest that this was the point at which Dahmer's most profound psychological trauma became apparent: the dread of neglect. Some argue that it is overly simplistic, excessively orderly, and overly human, because Dahmer was not solely concerned about being abandoned. He desired something more intricate: a body that he could manipulate, an individual who would never abandon him, a companion who remained perpetually mute. The spiral: isolation, obsession, and the inner conflict within his mind. Here is Hicks's assassination. Dahmer appeared to revert to his usual routine: higher education institution, the armed forces, and employment opportunity. But the thoughts occurring within his consciousness were anything but typical. Experts continue to debate the precise nature of the changes that occurred in Dahmer during these years. Some assert that he endeavored to regulate his impulses. Some assert that he was honing them, because Dahmer had uncovered something profoundly compelling: authority. Not the overt, aggressive dominance characteristic of most murderers. Dahmer sought subtle authority, the type whereby an individual's entire existence was contingent upon his choices. He navigated through life with progressively growing solitude. He consumed alcohol more extensively. His imaginings became increasingly more sinister. He engaged in experiments with substances, fantasies, and the concept that someday he might be able to construct an ideal, compliant partner. Some psychologists contend that this signifies the emergence of Dahmer's paraphilias, particularly necrophilia. Some contend that the term is too clinical to accurately describe what Dahmer became. Because Dahmer did not seek a corpse, he sought power over life itself. He sought a companion caught between awareness and demise. He desired an individual who only exhaled due to his permission. What is the most unsettling aspect? Dahmer did not conceal this information from medical professionals. He acknowledged it openly. That is the reason why experts continue to engage in debate. Was Dahmer afflicted with illness or merely malevolent? The Milwaukee years, an undisclosed tragedy in the city. From 1987 to 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer perpetrated the majority of the offenses that astonished the world: homicides, dismemberment, necrophilia, cannibalistic practices, maintaining the integrity of bodily components, attempting to develop human undead. These are the established realities. However, the underlying psychological mechanisms continue to be an enigma. What motivated Dahmer to select his victims? The majority were young males of diverse racial backgrounds. Some individuals were adolescents identifying as LGBTQ+. Some individuals were susceptible, destitute, or socially isolated. Some experts contend that Dahmer's actions were influenced by sexual orientation, geographical proximity, and available opportunities. Others contend that a far more sinister motive exists, that Dahmer selected marginalized individuals because he believed society would not search as diligently for them. This theory is not rooted in psychology. It is sociological in nature, and it discloses a disturbing reality. Dahmer possessed an in-depth comprehension of human biology. He comprehended the system, the apartment, a concealed death facility in plain sight. Dahmer's residence, Unit 213, has attained an almost legendary status within the annals of true crime history. a location where demons resided, a location where a human skull was positioned adjacent to boxing mitts, where acid encounters tissue, where a refrigerator contained atrocities beyond anyone's imagination. Nevertheless, Dahmer continues to maintain that he did not intend to murder. He desired a completely different kind of presence, a companion who would never depart. This contradiction represents one of the most extensively discussed aspects of his psychological profile. Some argue that Dahmer's murders were merely a means to an end. Others state that the killing was the culmination, the aspect he derived the greatest pleasure from. However, Dahmer himself maintained, "I did not find pleasure in the act of murdering. I appreciated what followed." The statement is among the most disturbing ever documented, because it indicates that his motive was not homicide. His primary intent was acquisition, regulation, calmness, silent. The most challenging aspect? He believed this was the sole method to ensure that someone remained with him indefinitely. The cannibalism discourse. What was the underlying cause? Dahmer's acts of cannibalism are frequently sensationalized. However, beneath the anguish resides an unresolved psychological debate. Why did he undertake this action? Below are the three primary hypotheses, and none of them concur. Theory 1. Symbolic ownership. Some psychologists contend that Dahmer believed consuming portions of his victims integrated them into himself. Not figuratively, literally. This could clarify the statements he made, such as, "I wish to retain them with me permanently." Theory 2. The paramount authority. Cannibalism represents the ultimate expression of control over an individual's body. The unsuccessful zombie experiments, the most troubling psychological enigma. Among all of Dahmer's actions, none perplex experts more than his efforts to induce the living undead. He created openings in the cranium. He applied acid and boiling water to the cranium. He attempted to conceive a being suspended at the threshold of existence, alive yet devoid of free will. Why did he undertake this action? Some authorities contend that Dahmer sought a companion who was unable to depart. Some contend that he sought absolute authority over human consciousness. Some even propose that Dahmer had cultivated a delusional conviction that these experiments might eventually succeed, not driven by lunacy, but by obsession. What is truly alarming is that Dahmer was not delusional in the conventional sense. He was well aware of his actions. He was aware that the scientific evidence did not substantiate it. He was aware that these experiments would not succeed. However, he attempted it regardless, because somewhere deep within his mind, he wished that they would not. The arrest. A monster concealed as a neighbor. When law enforcement ultimately entered Dahmer's apartment in 1991, the extent of the depravity was self-evident. Photographs, skulls, anatomical components, instruments, chemical substances, designs of disfigurement, and the refrigerator. This moment is indelibly recorded in the history of crime. The instant when the world uncovered the truth behind the peaceful, courteous man residing in apartment 213. However, following his arrest, an even more perplexing event occurred. The interviews. A killer who revealed all, yet provided no explanations. Unlike most serial murderers, Dahmer did not deny, boast, brag, or dramatize. He merely admitted the truth, gently, with composure, in a straightforward manner. He depicted the murders in a manner akin to describing routine domestic tasks. He articulated the rituals with unsettling clarity. He analyzed his fantasies with meticulous precision. However, despite thousands of hours of interviews, psychologists remain divided in their assessment of Dahmer's true nature. Here are the primary psychological profiles and the reasons each one is inadequate. Was Dahmer a sociopath? Many criminal authorities initially classified Dahmer as a quintessential sociopath. However, individuals with sociopathic tendencies engage in strategic influence. He preferred to avoid attracting attention. He was overwhelmed with humiliation. He sought tranquility, stability, and predictability rather than disorder. Therefore, the designation of sociopath does not remain applicable. Was Dahmer a psychopath? Psychopathy is characterized by emotional detachment, strategic planning, and an absence of remorse. And although Dahmer exhibited detached characteristics, he acknowledged experiencing impulses that he found challenging to resist. But was this genuine remorse, or merely remorse that he was apprehended? Psychologists remain divided. Was he mentally deranged? It is asserted by some, no rational individual would perforate a cranium with a drill. Others respond, but insanity necessitates delusion. And Dahmer did not exhibit any. Dahmer did not consider himself to be operating under orders. He did not consider himself to be divine. He did not perceive any auditory hallucinations. He was disturbingly rational. And that is what renders him so formidable. Was Dahmer a consequence of trauma? Numerous offenders have experienced trauma. Dahmer also engaged in such behavior, albeit not on the extensive scope typically observed in offenders of his category. His parents were not flawless, but they were not brutal. His childhood was not idyllic, but it was not catastrophic. Some specialists contend that his seclusion and familial discord generated the ideal conditions. Others contend that millions encounter this without transforming into murderers. The explanation of trauma appears to be a misplaced puzzle piece that does not align properly. And beneath that gentle exterior lurked a terror beyond comprehension. This inconsistency is what sustains ongoing debates among experts. It is what sustains the production of documentaries. It is what sustains the relevance of Dahmer's case within the realm of criminal psychology education. Because Dahmer was not merely a murderer, he posed a query that may remain forever unanswered. If you desire additional in-depth analyses, comprehensive psychological examinations, and narratives that reveal the hidden fears most are hesitant to confront, please kindly like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment if you wish to see another thought-provoking investigation, because the darkness is filled with unresolved inquiries, and collectively we identify them one by one.